And deep-sea fishing, don't you agree?
Chief, it is a master stroke of psychological strategy.
Thanks. Grab the tail.
It cleverly takes cognizance of their innate love of the sport of hunting, which has been drastically curtailed by Ellie Mae's love of the very creatures they hunt.
Yeah, grab the tail.
Provides these active, rugged mountaineers with all the thrills and excitement of the chase they so thoroughly enjoy.
Yeah, grab the tail.
And should they become devotees, it will prevent their leaving Beverly Hills and returning to their home. For, by its very nature, big game fishing is impossible in their landlocked, mountainous terrain. I repeat, Chief, it is a master stroke of psychological strategy.
All this because I said 3 lousy words. Don't you agree? Well, I'm going to say 3 more. Grab the tail!
Granny, me and old Duke here is plumb tuckered out. We walked clean over to the golf pasture looking for some game.
What'd you get?
We got mean mouthed and stick chased out of there.
You mean you come home with nothing, empty-handed again?
Well, we did manage to find a few of them golf eggs.
Throw them out, Jed. They just can't be cooked. I boiled them and porched them and fried them. And they still come out gummy as an old boot. Doggone it, I wanted some fresh game meat.
Well, looks like we's caught betwixt and between, Granny. Folks don't want me shooting a gun, and when I snare the game, Ellie makes a pet out of it.
Uncle Jed, Granny! Come see what Mr. Drysdale and Miss Jane brought us. A great big old fish about this long.
Fish that size must be a channel cat.
Yeah, some catfish rolled in cornmeal, deep fried. Ought to taste pretty good right now, huh?
Sure.
Come on, let's go.
Remember, not a word to my wife about giving this trophy to the Clampetts.
Right, Chief.
That fishing trip to the Gulf of Mexico cost us about $4,000. And this is all we have to show for it.
I understand.
Plus which, it took her 6 hours to land it.
Well, doggies, that is a big fish.
Ain't no catfish.
Looks like a carp.
No, this is a tarpon. That's a saltwater fish.
Oh, you cook them in salt water, do you?
No, it lives in salt water. The tarpon is a noted deep-sea game fish.
And I want you to have it for your game room.
Our what room?
Game room. That's the one with the trophies on the wall. The billiard room.
Oh, you mean the fancy eating room.
Yes, as you so quaintly call it.
What do I have to do to them?
Nothing. It's been prepared by an expert taxidermist.
Feels nice and crisp.
I'd sure like to see the skillet he was fried in.
Me too. Appears like the grease got too hot and he curled up a mite.
Oh,
No, he's not fried.
baked?
No.
Don't smell like he's been smoked.
Tarpon are rarely cooked at all. Once caught, they're usually preserved, like this one.
Oh, preserved.
Like pickled?
Well, yes, in a way. It's quite a process. They're cleaned, scraped, treated with chemicals, even the bones are removed. Then, a form is made and the skin
Miss
is...
Hathaway.
Sorry, Chief.
Mr. Clampett, I'm sure you'd enjoy catching a fish like this.
I would for a fact. Now, there's a critter even Ellie wouldn't make a pet out of.
Then it's all settled. Now I'm going out and get you the finest deep-sea fishing equipment that money can buy.
Oh, no need to do that, Mr. Drysdale. I can cut myself a pole and make a hook out of a bent nail.
No, catching big game fish like tarpon and marlin requires very special equipment.
It does indeed, Mr. Clampett. The black marlin, for example, which is a native of our own Pacific waters.
Jethro, fetch this fish out to the kitchen. I gotta figure out how to cook him.
But, Granny, Miss Jane said you didn't have to do nothing more to it. She said that it was all...
I heard what she said, but I say that this fish ain't got a fresh-caught look to it. Nobody's chomping on him till I've cooked him.
Yes, ma'am, Granny. She's right. It could use some tendering up.
You're gonna commence a tendering up, you wall-eyed, ocean-going varmint.
You cooking that fish?
I ain't giving him a bath.
Gene said he already been prepared by experts, something or other.
Taxi driver.
That sounds like it, yeah.
He better stick to driving taxis. He don't know shucks about fish. I've been boiling this rascal for 2 hours, and he's still tough as harness leather.
You know what it could be, Granny?
What?
Swimming around in the salt water all them years is what toughened him up. You know what brine will do to any kind of hide.
I know what it's done to his hide. Why, I've dulled 3 knives trying to cut him up. Finally had Jethro fetch him out here and throw him into my big kettle whole.
And cooking them 2 hours ain't soften them up none?
Not one smidgen. And I've had both ends in the water.
Hey, Granny, we's hungry. Ain't that fish ready yet?
That fish ain't never gonna be ready.
Well, let's go catch one of our own.
Yeah, with this fish winding machine.
It'll be a freshwater fish if I cook it. I'd as leave try to stew an alligator as that thing.
Come on, Jethro, let's dig some worms.
Now, hold on. I reckon it'd hurt Mr. Drysdale's feelings considerable if he was to find out we didn't eat his fish.
But, Uncle Jed, I pretty near broke a tooth on that thing.
And if Jethro can't bite through it, nobody can.
How about Rusty, my cat? He's had his eye on it ever since Jethro fetched it out here.
Yeah, let's give it to him.
It's a heap of fish for one cat.
Don't worry about that, Granny. Appears like Rusty is rounding him up some friends to help.
All I can say to you is... loads of luck.
Well, didn't you cut poles for Paul and Granny?
Granny's gonna use the new store-bought pole from Mr. Drysdale, and Uncle Jed's gonna try out his new fishing machine.
You dig a nice bucket of worms, Ellie?
Yes, sir, Pa. They's on a truck. What's that thing you're wearing?
Well, this here is a fishing machine harness for holding this here fishing machine.
I still say that's a mighty short pole.
I reckon it's meant for fishing over the side of a boat, man.
Ain't gonna get me on no boat.
Ain't figuring to. They work just well off a bridge. You know any good fishing bridges, Jethro?
Only bridge I know goes over the Los Angeles River.
Ain't nothing like a river for catfish. Let's get going.
Wasn't much water in it last time we was there.
Maybe the beavers had it dammed up.
If May's still there, can I bring home a beaver?
No more critters.
Quiet down, Granny. We ain't bringing home nothing but fish. Let her roll, Jethro. Come on, Jethro. You're wasting time. There ain't no fish in there.
That is the poorest excuse of a river I ever did see.
Pitiful, just pitiful.
Los Angeles is so ashamed of that river, they had to put up cement walls to hide it.
Maybe it'll be better when the spring thaw sets in. Come on, let's go find us a creek or a pond.
Hey, wait a minute. I got a bite.
My doggies, he has at that.
Jerry, fetch my pole, quick!
What for? This ain't nothing but a boot.
I know it. I'm going to fish for the other one. They're better than the ones I'm wearing.
You young'uns wait here. Granny and me is going in and talk to Mr. Drysdale.
Yeah, I have a few things to say that you might oughtn't to hear. Him and his Beverly Hills fishing.
Now, simmer down, Granny. We'll get it straightened out. Keep an eye on the poles and stuff.
Guess what, Chief?
What?
You're taking the Sea Witch tomorrow.
I am not. You know she doesn't get along with the Clampetts.
The Sea Witch is the boat you've chartered.
Oh. Well, don't scare me like that.
By doggies, we come here to complain about having no place to fish. You ought to see where poor Mr. Drysdale is trying his luck.
Granny, Mr. Clampett, come in, come in.
Mr. Drysdale, are you catching anything out of there?
Well, I wasn't really trying to catch anything.
We was trying.
What did you get?
One old boot, and it don't fit too good.
I thought the hunting around here was poor, but the fishing is really miserable.
We found a pond with some fish in it up the street yonder. The one with the spring and the bubbles coming out in the middle.
Oh, that's a municipal fountain, and those are goldfish.
I hope you didn't try to catch any of those.
Oh, yeah, we caught a lot of them, but we threw them all back. The biggest one was no better than that.
Mr. Clampett, Granny, tomorrow you will have the fishing experience of your lives. I have chartered a boat.
I ain't setting foot on no boat.
Granny, you'll be perfectly safe. It's quite large, and there's an expert crew aboard.
I ain't getting on no boat.
But you love it, Granny. Wait till you experience the thrill of hooking a giant barracuda,
I ain't going.
a fighting sea bass,
I ain't going.
bonita, albacore,
I ain't going.
yellowtail,
You can call me coward all you want. I ain't going.
Please, Mr. Clampett, bring her back. I want to explain.
I'll bring her back, but you're gonna have a job getting her on the boat. Granny's right fond of fishing, but she likes to do her rocking on dry land.
Doggone it. Deep-sea game fishing is made to order for that scrappy little woman. One look at a 500-pound sea bass, and she'll never fish in fresh water again.
Chief, I've got an idea. An inspiration. It combines all the elements
Oh, wait a minute. Can you tell me in 5,000 words or less?
I can tell you in one word, Marineland.
Marineland,
Yes, there, with her feet firmly planted on dry land. Granny can gaze through glass windows into a huge tank and observe at arm's length specimens of sea life by the thousands, from the largest mammals to the tiniest crustaceans.
Now, Granny, it won't hurt you none to listen to Mr. Drysdale.
He ain't getting me out on no water.
But, Granny, I know how fond you are of fish.
I'm fond of ducks, too. But I ain't going up in the sky after them.
Sit down.
Well, youngins, we're going fishing after all.
Mr. Drysdale told us about a fishing hole that's got 'em all beat.
He's gonna take us out there first thing in the morning.
It's a gymnasium.
You can look through a glass window and pick out the kind of fish you like.
Some of 'em as big as this truck.
Let's go right now.
Yeah.
I'm all for that, Jed.
Well, I reckon it would spare Mr. Drysdale a heap of trouble.
Yeah, where is it, Paul?
Down near the ocean, a place called Marineland.
Do you reckon the Marines would let us fish there?
Well, he didn't say nothing about that.
Well, they hadn't better try to stop me. I'm catching one of them whoppers for supper tonight.
The Marines is real tough fighters, Granny, and they tote guns.
Well, let's stop by home and get our guns.
Hold on, Granny. We ain't taking on the whole United States Marine.
And he called me a yellowtail.
Fight him, Granny.
Ain't nobody gonna fight nobody. We'll ask them Marines nice and polite, can we fish in a fishing hole?
What if they say no?
We'll jump that quick when we come to it. Drive on, Jethro. Excuse me there, young feller. Are you a Marine?
No, sir, Air Force. But there's a Marine. Oh, Sergeant.
Yes, Lieutenant.
These people seem to be looking for a Marine.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
Well, we heard stories about all the big fish there is in there, and we sure would like to try our luck.
Be my guest.
Well, thank you.
Oh, it's a great spot. You'll love it.
Big fish, huh?
I'll say, if you like real big fish, be sure to catch the whale.
We'll do our best.
Sure is nice of the Marines to let us use their fishing holes.
Yeah. Hey, this looks like a good one. Pull up here, Jethro.
They must be them whales that Marine told us to catch.
I got to admit, them's big fish.
I don't think we got a pole big enough to pull one of them rascals in.
According to the sign on the fishing hole, them there is porpoises.
I want me a whale. Drive on. What's these critters?
Sign says these here is seals.
Well, let's see what else we can find.
I want me a whale.
I like them, especially that baby one. This here's the biggest one yet.
It's a dandy.
Is this where the whales are supposed to be?
That's what the sign says.
I don't see no fish.
Maybe you gotta drop a line and get a bite.
Put a hook on my line, Jethro.
Yes, sir, Granny.
Ellie Mae, I'm gonna catch me the biggest whale there is in there. Fetch me out a nice big fat worm.
I don't believe I'd bother with a worm if I was you.
The grasshopper grasshopper make better bait?
Unless you can find one the size of a hog.
Grasshopper don't come that big.
And you better use a hog. Look out yonder. Here he comes again.
And we thought them porpoises was big.
Nobody move. That fish is mine.
What are you going to catch him with, Granny?
It's Jethro.
You ain't gonna put me on no hook.
No. You go out there on that board and make a noise like a grasshopper.
You mean rub my legs together?
I don't know how you do it, but do it. Then when he jumps out of the water to grab you, you grab him first.
How?
Throw your arms around him. Grab him out of there and fling him on the bank.
Granny, I reckon you're getting a little carried away. Now, I'd be proud as you to take that big rascal home, but instead of gaining the fish, we might be losing the boy.
If the Marines can catch him that big, so can we. Come on, Jethro. Go on, Jethro, go on.
All right, but you come with me.
What's the matter, Jethro? You scared of a fish?
Well, that's what I am. Here's a whole bucket of fish. Why don't we take these home? Then we don't have to bother that big, ugly rascal.
Give him one. He'll think we're friendly. Catch him off guard. Go on, Jethro, go on.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean you're ugly.
That's right, Jethro. Tempt him again.
That's it. Looking down his throat is like looking through a cellar door.
All right, Granny, that's enough. Come on, Jethro, get off of here.
You bring the fish, Uncle Jed.
Wants another fish, Jed?
Here's one for you, young fella. I think this whale wants them all.
It's a baby walrus. Ain't he cute, Paul? Can I take him home?
Hadn't better, Ellie. He'd remind Granny too much of Leif Crick. Ain't that right, Granny? Where'd you go, Granny? Jethro!
Put me down, you big coward.
I caught her, Uncle Jed. She was bringing her back to the whale tank.
I reckon we better head for home.
I'll be back, you overgrown big mouth varmint. And this time I'll get you. You're mine, do you hear? I can't stand it. Turn around and go back.
We're going home, Granny. Now quieten down.
You can't catch a whale, Granny.
It's too much fish for a little woman like you.
That fish don't live. That's too much for me. I'll see him in my skillet or it's the last thing I ever do.
Just getting close to him, Lil, will be the last thing you ever do. Now settle down.
I know what I'll do. I'll roll him in cornmeal. That's what I'll do. Deep fry him. Get that rascal yet.
Where you going, Gran?
None of your business.
Who'd set her off?
Poor Granny.
Yeah, the sad part of it is, when she goes telling folks about the one that got away, ain't nobody gonna believe her.
Hey, Uncle Jed, look what I found on the truck. A baby seal.
That's my baby seal. You put him down.
Ellie Mae Clampett, did you carry off that critter from Marine Land?
No, sir, he followed me.
Followed you?
Yeah, you just put him down and I'll show you.
Ellie Mae, I reckon he followed you to the truck, but he didn't get up by himself.
No, sir. I helped him a little.
It happened again because we're taking him back.
Come on, Whiskers.
Hey, Granny, we's going back to Maureen Land.
Don't get her steamed up again. There ain't no way in the world that little woman can catch that big...
Let's go. I'm ready for that big rascal this time.
To keep you company while you're sick in bed. Call my friend the critter doctor over to the zoo. As soon as it closes, he's gonna come by and see what's ailing. Little Arnie Duke might not feel like getting his face washed right now.
Ellie Mae, you in there?
Quick, Arnie, hide under cover with Duke. Granny don't allow dogs in the bed.
You seen anything of old Duke? He ain't showed up for his victuals.
Well, Granny Duke's kind of ailing. I reckon that's why he didn't show up for his victuals. He's gonna be all right.
What's that moving around in your bed? Mind your tongue, little dog.
Now, don't get riled, Granny. Duke's been feeling poorly, and I didn't want him crawling under the house like he usually does where the critter doctor couldn't get to him.
Well, that's mighty kind of you. Crawling under the house ain't so easy anymore at my age.
But I didn't mean you, Granny. I meant the real critter doctor.
What did you say?
I said I called the real critter doctor, the one over to the zoo that's been to college, you know.
Are you telling me that I ain't fit to doctor a dog?
Oh, no, ma'am, Granny.
I've doctored this family man and beast for 50 years. I've tonicked everything from cats to cousins and never a complaint.
What's all hollering about, Granny?
Dad, you gonna paddle this young'un or should I do it?
Oh, what she's done at once paddling.
Old Duke is ailing. Think she called me to doctor him? No, I ain't good enough.
Yeah, Granny, I don't think Duke is ailing that much.
Well, she called that smart alecky college boy critter doctor to come over here.
College boy, huh?
Now, Granny, Dr. Martin ain't no smart aleck.
Don't back talk me, girl.
Well, if you're gonna get so riled, I'll just call the doctor and tell him not to come.
Hold on, Ellie. Maybe it's a good idea for you to call that critter doctor and tell him to come on over.
What did you say?
Don't play off the handle. Come on outside. I'll explain it to you.
You don't have to explain nothing to me, Jed. The handwriting is wrote on the wall big and plain. Granny, go home. Granny, we don't need you no more. Granny, you is good for nothing. Get out from underfoot.
Now, Granny.
Now, he says. Don't wait, he says. We's through with you, he says. All right, Jed. Just send my poor old weary bones back home. Rest in peace in the hills.
Now, you get out of that cedar chest.
You're right, kid. Old Granny just ain't worth wasting a good cedar chest on. Just stuff me in a box and send me home.
What's that kind of talking? Come on downstairs.
Jed, I ain't even worth a box. Just tie me in some old newspapers with a good stout string.
You want me to carry you down them stairs?
I ain't worth the trouble, Jed. I'll just throw myself out the window. You can gather me up in an old gunny sack. And if that's too much trouble, you can stick me in an envelope and mail me home.
Talk downstairs, Granny.
I guess I ain't even worth the stamps. How about sending me parcel post?
It ain't Duke I want the critter doctor to come see. It's Ellie Mae.
She ailing?
Of course not. But he might be just the beau we've been looking for that girl.
You think so?
I knowed he was a college boy. I'd had him over before this. She's always talking about how nice he is and good with critters.
But suppose he's married already?
We'll find out. Ellie Mae? If he ain't, we'd ask him to stay for supper.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pa?
Granny had a good idea. Why don't you call that critter doctor and ask him to bring his wife and stay to supper?
Well, thank you anyway, Granny, but he ain't got no wife.
Oh, now that's too bad.
Well, ask him to stay to supper anyway.
Okay, Pa.
And put on a nice, pretty dress.
Well, what for?
Cat fur to make kitten breeches. Do as I tell you.
Oh, look. Oh, Duke, swell. Now we don't have to bother Dr. Martin at all.
Luke, you're spoiling Ellie's romance. Now get back up to bed and act sick. That old Duke had a relapse.
Howdy, Doctor. I seen you coming from a window up yonder.
Ellie Mae. Is this your home?
Yes, sir.
The way you dress when you come to the zoo and the way you love animals, I always thought you lived on a ranch.
No, sir. This is all we got.
Ellie Mae, those animals I gave you, the raccoon, the skunk, the possum, you mean to tell me you keep them here?
Yes, sir, but they don't mind it. Please don't take them back.
Oh, I won't. It's just that, well, where's Duke?
Oh, he's in the bedroom right at the top of the stairs. Follow me.
A hound dog with his own bedroom. Wow.
Doctor's here now. You ain't gonna be sick no more. Right in here, Doctor.
I hope my animals at the zoo never find out how yours live. Looks like I'm too late.
Duke's just shy. He ain't used to doctors. I'll get you a chair.
If you're a hound dog, you got real problems.
Baby, you're what I need. Say, on a 10% commission, if I sell $30,000 worth of bug spray, you're mine.
What you looking at, Granny?
The critter doctor's out there. Dandy-looking young fella. But I sure hope he ain't toting more varmints.
Oh, Ellie. Get a move on, Ellie.
I'll fetch him in and see if his intentions is honorable.
Now, wait a minute, Granny. We don't even know he's here to court Ellie yet. You scare him away before they said howdy.
The critter doctor's here?
Yes, Ellie, we know that.
Granny and me will wait in the kitchen. You call us out to meet him after a spell.
Now, Ellie, that's a might nice-looking young feller at the door. You be nice to him.
How do you do if I may have a few moments of your time? How do you do if I may have a few hours of your time?
What for?
Well, I have this wonderful line I'd like to sell you.
That what you're toting in your suitcase?
No, that's another line I'd like to say.
Everything in order. Jed, them pesky varmints have learned to open the back door.
Simmer down, Granny. I'll help you round them up.
Jed, I've been thinking. We hadn't ought to let that critter Dr. Court Ellie Mae.
Why not?
'Cause he's the one that give her all these. If he comes courting on her regular, we'll end up with more varmints in the zoo.
Yeah, now look on the bright side, Granny. She's got everything. Ain't no new ones he can give her.
You are the most complete line of insecticides and pest control products money can buy. Fly spray, mosquito ointment, moth cakes, roach pellets. You name it, I've got it. How about going in there where I can sit down?
Oh, fine dandy. There's a nice soft sofa to sit on.
I like you. You know, I like you a lot. By the way, my name's Jim Gardner.
Mine's Ellie Mae Clampett.
You know, if I make enough sales today, and something tells me I will, I might just ask you out to dinner. Yes, sirree. Hey! Hey, beautiful! Where are you? Hey, come on in. Hey, gorgeous!
Stop your yelling, I'm coming.
Are you the housekeeper here?
Well, I try to be. But it ain't easy with all them varmints underfoot.
Varmints?
Yeah, them pesky little critters. You know the ones I mean. Why, out in my kitchen right now, they were crawling all over my sink.
Madam, you are just the person I want to talk to. Now then, let's start with roaches. You know how to take care of those little critters?
No, and I don't want to learn. I got enough to take care of now.
Look, let me show you the easy, pleasant way to take care of them. No muss, no fuss, no bother. Just place one of these roach pellets in a dark corner and where they can get at it, and presto.
I ain't got none now, and that's the way it's gonna be.
All right, all right. How about ants? Do you have any ants?
Not in the house, I ain't.
You'd be surprised how many beautiful Beverly Hills mansions have ants.
I don't care what these squirrely Beverly Hills folks have in their house. Me and ants don't get along.
And what you want is ant syrup.
Ant syrup?
Sure, they love it. They'll come from everywhere to get it.
Do you know what kind of a doctor you are? You're a dad-blame bug doctor. That's what you are.
Exactly. You show me a bug, and I'll show you what to do for it.
Duke's fine. Just give him a little outdoor exercise.
Now, don't you forget Grandpa's expecting you for supper.
I'll be back, I promise. I'm very anxious to meet both of them.
There. Now, isn't that a pleasant, fragrant odor? Why, it's a regular perfume.
Not bad. What's it for?
Flies.
Flies?
Flies and mosquitoes.
I swat them pesky things.
Use this on them, and you'll never swat another one.
Close up your bag of bug riddles and get out of my house.
Let me show you what I have for spiders.
Out before I throw you out.
Quieten down, Granny. I thought you was gonna wait till Ellie called you.
He called me, this dad-blame bug doctor. Thought I told you to get out of the house.
Now, hold on, Doctor. You just happened to catch Granny in a cantankerous mood. I'll quiet her down. Why don't you sit down? Make yourself to home. We'll have supper in a bit.
He ain't staying for supper.
Yes, he is.
No, he ain't.
Yes, he is.
I ain't feed him. If he's hungry, let him eat his fancy bug riddles.
Honey, if you weren't such a doll, I'd clear out of this bug house.
Now, Granny, you listen to me.
Now, you listen to me. It's bad enough that I have to be sewing clothes for a monkey or washing bed linen after a hound dog. But I'll be switched if I'm going around spraying perfume on flies and mosquitoes and giving parties for moths.
Well, nobody wants you to.
He does, that crazy bug doctor. Tried to sell me some moth cakes.
Oh, cheeks.
And if that ain't enough, he wants me to give a bath to fleas.
Granny.
It's true. Tried to sell me flea soap, flea shampoo, and flea dusting powder.
Look how frisky old Duke is now. The doctor sure fixed him up.
See, Granny, he's a critter doctor.
He's a bug doctor. Don't you have nothing more to do with him, Ellie.
But I like him, and he's going to be here for supper.
I ain't cooking for him.
Well, why not?
Granny just having one of her spiteful spells. Now, you get on out to the kitchen, I'll talk to you directly. No, not that way. I don't want you tying into that young fella again. Go around the back way.
Beverly Hills bug doctor. First thing you know, he'll be having Ellie leading a boll weevil on a leash. Monkey, you know, from a thing Washington.
Oh, let's leave Duke here with Skipper.
Okay. Come on, Skipper. Duke's feeling better now. You two can play cowboys again.
I'll be doggone. They do play cowboy. It's coming on for supper time. Don't you want to get started fixing the victuals?
Who for?
For everybody.
Who's everybody?
Well, you, Jethro, Ellie, me.
Who else?
Well, you know, the company.
And who might that be?
That nice-looking young fella Ellie Mae's got in there. You know who I mean.
No. Tell me.
The critter doctor.
He's our bug doctor.
All right, have it your way. But bug doctors got to eat too, you know.
Not my cooking, they don't.
You don't have to do no cooking. I'll just fetch some cold hog jowls out of the icebox, and we can open up a jar of pickled turnip.
No, you don't. Once he gets a taste of my victuals, we'll never get shit of him.
And then he can have a taste of my victuals. I reckon I can still cook up a passable pot of grits.
Over my burning body.
Granny, you're just being a little unreasonable.
No, I ain't. I don't want Ellie Mae marrying up with that Beverly Hills bug nut. Instead of grandchildren, you're liable to wind up burping a beetle.
Hey, mister, if you want to wrestle with Ellie Mae, you ought to get a better hold on her than that.
Hey, you want to wrestle?
Huh?
Later.
Hey, Ellie Mae, the critter doctor's out in the hall. And he brung you a present from the zoo, too.
You were a brother?
Well, shucks, no.
Her boyfriend, huh?
Well, I'm a boy, and we's friends. But mostly we's cousins.
Oh, that's great. My name's Jim Gar.
How do you spell that?
Hope your granny won't mind. He's still a little wild.
Oh, I can tame him.
I'm sure you can, but what about Granny?
Well, ain't nobody can tame her.
I mean, do you think she'll mind having another critter around?
Let's go ask her. Extra nice.
I'll be as charming as my years will allow. Oh, Ellie Mae, let's put him back in here.
In you go.
In you go.
Now, Granny, we have invited that critter bug doctor to supper, and it ain't very nice to send him away.
Carl, Granny, the doctor's done give me a brand new critter.
What is it?
Well, look.
Oh, it's a giant, hairy caterpillar with green eyes and big teeth.
Looks like a Bob Get Youngin' to me.
It is, ain't it cute?
Who are you?
I'm Dr. Martin.
Oh, yes, ma'am. This here's the critter doctor. This is my granny, and this is my pal.
You're the critter doctor?
That's right.
Well, who's that bug-happy goomer in the parlor?
Goomer?
Well, that's the young fella you said to be nice to.
Let's have a word with him.
Ellie Mae, get that varmint out of my kitchen.
Yes, ma'am, Granny.
Did I understand, Ellie Mae, to call you Granny?
What about it?
It was such an odd name to call one's sister.
Sister.
You're certainly too young to be her mother. But you must be related, because you have all of Ellie Mae's wonderful features. Her beauty of face, figure, her irresistible charm, her sweetness, and her loveliness.
Well, I don't know whether it's your talk or this stove, but I'm commencing to warm up to you.
What'd you say his name was again, Jethro?
It's Jim Gar.
Oh, mighty pleased to meet you.
Same here. Actually, my name's Jim Gar.
How you spell that?
I just won't take no for an answer. You're staying to supper.
How can I refuse such a gracious invitation from such a lovely lady?
You're kind of slighting this one.
A home-cooked meal would be a real treat for me. I usually eat in a restaurant.
Well, you're in for a feast tonight. We'll start off with some crawdad tails, deep-fried in possum fat, crispy and crunchy, and then some owl soup.
Owl soup?
Barn owl. And then the special dish, stuffed gopher.
You mean, gopher?
That's only the beginning.
Granny, that little bobcat's just getting along dandy with all my other critters. Can he stay?
Well, I reckon so.
That young fella wants to know, can he take you out for supper?
That's a wonderful idea.
Hold on, Doc. You're my date.
Have a good time, but don't stay out too late.
And behave yourself. Don't park a deck.
We won't.
Speak for yourself.
Uncle Jed, I'm gonna have me a car just like that.
How are you fixing to pay for it?
Easy. You know that fella Jim Garr? He told me how. He said all I got to do is sell $30,000 worth of these bug vittles.
Good luck, boy. Best get to it.
Yes, sir. See you later.
Thing like that could only happen in America.
Don't bother me now. Later, later. This is flat Scruggs. You.
Yes?
You assured me that you were not coming in this morning. I took you at your word. And if a secretary cannot trust the word of her employee, then I ask you, whom can she trust?
Gee, I'm sorry. It wasn't my fault. You see, this appointment... You're having a hootenanny in my office, and I'm apologizing?
We are not having a hootenanny. I was merely holding an informal meeting of my folk music appreciation group. And on our own time.
Well, have it some other place. I'm running a bank, not a barn dance. Who are these characters?
Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs. Progenitors and acknowledged masters of that style of music known as bluegrass.
Bluegrass, schmoograss. Get all this stuff out of here.
That is something I think you should know. Mr. Flatt and Mr. Scruggs are visiting here from Nashville.
Nashville, Smashville, out.
They are the house guests of Jed Clampett.
Clampetts, Schmampett, Jed Clampett? My Jed Clampett? They're staying at his house?
Yes, with their wives. You see, Flatt and Scruggs are old friends of his from back in the hills.
Well, just don't stand there plugging this record player. I want to hear these boys. Nashville, too. Yeah, that's my favorite city. Say, those boys are good. Pipe that music to the bank speaker system, and then we'll drive over to the Clampetts and meet Earl and Lester in person.
That's a fact. I ain't seen anything picked that fast since Jethro got in the berry patch.
What do you call that number?
That was Foggy Mountain Breakdown, wasn't it, boys?
That's what we call it in the evening, Granny, but if we play it before noon, it's called the Louise and Gladys Wake Up.
Yeah, it's the only way we can get our wives out of bed in the morning.
Girl, that's what we get for marrying city girls.
Well, city their country. I bet that opened their eyes. I'll go get breakfast on the table.
Well, we'll help you, Granny.
I've done had my breakfast, and I'm late for school now.
So long, Jethro.
Yeah, behave yourself.
See you later.
Don't forget your lunch.
Don't worry, Uncle Jed. I got it.
You know, Earl, I don't hear wives stirring around up there yet.
Let's give them another blast.
Good idea.
Jed, how about stomping the course this time?
Well, I don't know if I can stomp fast as you can pick, but I'll do my best.
Let it go, Earl.
Come in. I see it woke you up, too. Woke me? I think it woke my aunt in San Francisco. Imagine at the crack of dawn like this. Why, it isn't even 10 o'clock yet. Well, Louise, that's what we get for marrying country boys. Yes. But you know something, Gladys? I wouldn't trade our husbands for Cary Grant. I wouldn't either. We'd be fighting over him constantly. What are you going to wear today? I don't know. May as well wear our house dresses. I suppose our husbands will want us to continue our cooking lessons from Granny. Oh, no. I'll never learn how to make those country dishes. You know, I flunked grits and jowls yesterday. I don't know how I did on my fatback and collard greens. Did you taste them? Yeah, you flunked. When Lester and Earl asked us to come to Beverly Hills and stay at a millionaire's mansion, I had visions of upstairs maids, breakfast in bed, dressing for dinner, and rubbing elbows with movie stars. So what are we doing? Learning how to make chitlins, Granny style. Oh, do you remember the 3 different kinds? Are you kidding? I had a chitlin nightmare last night. What do you mean? Well, I dreamt I was a chitlin, all 3 kinds. I was hand-slung, stump-whipped, and dog-pulled. Oh, Louise, we've got to get away for a few days. My aunt in San Francisco. We'll fly up and visit her. Marvelous. But will the boys let us go? They will if we approach them right. How's this approach? I like it. Come across the hall and help me pick out my working clothes.
I think I hear them stirring around up there, boys.
Are you girls out of bed yet?
Yes, Lester, darling.
How soon you be down?
Just as soon as we're dressed, Earl, sweetheart.
Get a move on.
We will, Angel.
I know you boys picked out a couple of sweet ones, didn't you?
Yes, we did, Jed. Sweet and pretty.
If Granny can just learn them to cook, we got herself a couple of crackerjack wives.
That's the truth. You can't beat a woman that looks city and cooks country.
I gotta admit, that sounds good.
Say, Jed, how come you ain't married up with one of these pretty Beverly Hills women?
Why, shucks, Lester. These fine, high-stepping society fillies ain't about to jump into double harness with an old country plow horse like me.
Now, we done all right, and you wouldn't exactly call us Kentucky Derby winners.
I tell you, Jed, these city women make fine wives.
That's the truth.
Them lazy women of yours ready for breakfast yet?
Not quite, Granny.
Well, here's some chitlins they made last evening. I thought maybe you'd like to try them.
I would. My wife talked about them in her sleep last night.
Well, shall I throw them out?
Oh, don't do that, Granny. Earl and me want these.
You do?
You betcha.
Lester, you thinking about the same thing I am?
I reckon so, Earl. Let's try.
You're right, they're dandy.
Small wonder that I have become an aficionado, and I'm so thrilled at the opportunity of meeting them in person and shaking those extraordinarily talented hands.
Well, howdy there. Come in, come in. Boys, this here is Miss Hathaway and Mr. Drysdale from down to the bank. These 2 young fellas is Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs. I reckon you heard about them.
Heard of them? Why, I'm an aficionado of their music. And I am thrilled at this opportunity to meet them in person and shake their extraordinarily talented hands. You know, throughout the length and breadth of this country. The artistry of Flat and Scruggs epitomizes the sturdy, vital music of our native soil.
Why, doggone, Mr. Drysdale, you know a lot about these boys. Why don't you tell Miss Jane something about them?
That's a good idea. Scruggs has been called the Paganini of the five-string banjo.
You don't say.
Oh, yes. And coupled with Flat's virtuoso handling of the guitar and his warm, authentic vocalizations, but why talk about it? Let's listen to this hearty, fructifying folk music. There you are, Mr. Scruggs. There's your banjo.
I'm screwed.
Exactly. Well, you get your guitar, and Miss Hathaway can hear some authentic crabgrass.
Bluegrass?
Exactly. She's catching on already.
I ain't waiting no longer. Everybody to the fancy eating room for lunch.
Lunch? What happened to breakfast?
Too late. Lunch is ready. Now, come on, everyone to the table. Shoo, get.
But Granny...
You two, move on.
But Mr. Flat and Mr. Scruggs are going to do something for us.
You betcha they are. They're going to get their wives to the table.
We will for a fact, Granny.
Y'all go ahead. We'll be right in.
By the time them city women get up, we'll be having supper.
You know, Earl, I'm commencing to get aggravated at their wives.
Me too, Lester, me too.
Sometimes I ask myself a question, why did I marry a city woman?
Me too, Lester, me too.
Earl, I just got the answer to my question.
Me too, Lester, me too.
Now, boys, put me down. Put me down.
You deserve to be carried, Granny. You're the queen of the kitchen.
Yeah, sit here on your throne and we'll send our wives in for another cooking lesson.
Yeah, and if you can learn them to cook grits and jowls like yours, we're going to write a song about you.
I'll do it. Did you tell them to get into some working clothes?
Yeah, they had some foolish idea about going to San Francisco, but we put a stop to that.
Where did we go wrong, Louise?
We should have asked them before lunch. Once they tasted Granny's victuals, it was no contest.
Well, let's forget about San Francisco and go back to cooking school.
No, wait. I can't face another lecture on advanced grits and jowls. There's gotta be some way of playing hooky.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself, making me climb up that there tree after you. I just wanted you to meet our company. This here's my bobcat. You want to hide?
No, thanks.
Don't be scared. You won't hurt him.
What's the trouble, ladies? Hey, May Clampett, you know better than to bring that bobcat in the house. Now get him out of here.
Well, yes, sir, Paul. Come on, Bobby. We'll just climb back up that third tree.
I sure wish somebody'd take that young'un in hand and make a fine lady out of her.
That'd be quite a job.
Not in San Francisco.
I beg your pardon?
Well, Gladys and I could do a lot for her, but we'd have to get her away. From her critters and things.
Yes, to a city like San Francisco.
And I got to admit that Beverly Hills ain't done a lot to help her. Oh, but I couldn't ask you ladies to give up your cooking lesson.
Ask us, ask us.
Are you boys planning any personal appearances while you're out here?
Well, just one, Mr. Drysdale. We're hoping to play for Jed Clampett's wedding.
What's this?
Mr. Clampett is getting married?
Well, if we could sell him on the notion, that's one reason we brought our wives along. Right, Earl?
Yes, we hope it'll answer this question. Can a man from a little cabin in the hills find happiness as the husband of a beautiful and educated city woman?
You two certainly seem to have found happiness.
Pretty near.
Yeah, just a grit and a jowl away.
Well, speaking of your beautiful, sophisticated city wives, how did you happen to meet them?
We were playing an engagement in New York City, and we held an audition for girl singers.
Yeah, there must have been 300-400 girls showed up.
And Gladys and Louise stood out from the crowd.
They must have had beautiful voices.
You know something, Earl, we never did find out if they could sing.
Chief, that's how we can find a wife for Mr. Clampett.
What?
Well, he's too shy to look for himself. But if Mr. Flat and Mr. Scruggs hold another audition right here, he'll meet dozens of beautiful girls in spite of himself.
Say, that's a good idea.
Now, hold on. Their wives might not think so.
Yeah, they know we don't need a girl singer.
Yes, that's right. With their wives around, there might be trouble. Oh, that's too bad.
Sorry to be so long getting Ellie out of the tree, but I don't climb as spry as I used to.
Paul says you're taking me to San Francisco.
Well, yes, if our husbands will let us.
Well, let's go ask him.
You do the talking.
Be glad to. Now, come on, Ellie Mae. Go on upstairs and get yourself packed. Say, Lester and Earl, your wives here like to go to San Francisco.
Hey, that's a great idea.
How soon can you leave?
Don't just stand there jawing about it. Get packing. Jed, you know you ought to have yourself a sweet, pretty wife like Earl and these got.
Well, I don't get to travel around much like you boys. I don't get to see many women.
You never can tell when you'll run into a bunch of them.
Oh, yes, that's true. The big city's not like living in isolation back in the hills.
Yeah, back there, a feller had to get himself a wife out of a catalog.
Yeah, listen to this song, Jed, and then you'll know how lucky you are. Get you a mail-order bride. A hillman leads a lonely life. A hillman needs a loving wife. A mail-order bride. He's got a mule, he's got a dog, but what he needs from the catalog is delivery of someone to love without fail.
Without fail.
Without fail by the U.S. mail. She'll help him raise a chicken. She'll cook and sew and bake and have him raise a nickel and rub away each ache. She'll help him raise a brand new barn, and then she'll play her ace. She'll raise a little ringer just to have her around the place. Get you a mail-order bride. She'll burn her brand right on your heart, and you won't even feel it smart. A mail-order bride. As you ride home the long last mile, she'll make you feel it was all worthwhile. You'll be full of pride, so satisfied. You order a mail-order bride.
Really, Jethro, you don't have to drive us clear out to the airport. We can still take a taxi.
Yes, just pull over to the corner and stop.
Shucks, Jethro don't mind driving us.
Uncle Jed wants me to help you with the suitcases.
Yeah, he's almost strong as me.
I'm stronger. If you don't believe me, just feel these muscles.
We believe you. Watch the traffic.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, you know something? That's the fourth fella that's whistled at us.
I wonder how come.
Probably the truck, honey.
Yeah, I reckon. Don't see too many like this.
I'll take a bet on that.
What do you mean they went to San Francisco? I got everything ready for their grits and jowl lesson.
Well, but Granny,
And besides, I was going to throw in another crack at hand-slung chitlins.
but they're doing it for Ellie Mae. They'll be back quick as they turn her into a fine big city lady.
How long will that take?
Oh, both of them going at it shouldn't take more than a day or so.
Fine. The sooner the better. Bye. Well, Chief, I've contacted every major theatrical agent. We will soon be inundated by a wave of beautiful, talented girls.
Well, I'll get back to the bank.
But, Chief, don't you think you should stay and look over Mr. Clampetts' prospective bride?
Oh, you won't need me.
But there'll be dozens of girls to look at.
Well, you and Jed and Flat and Scruggs can handle it.
Okay.
Well, don't give up so easily. Coax me.
Well, Chief, we don't need you.
I'll stay anyway.
I'll just feel better if we tell the boys we got here all right.
I bet they miss us already.
Hello? May we speak to Lester Flat and Earl Scruggs, please?
Well, if it's about the audition, that won't be necessary.
Audition? For Flat and Scruggs?
Yes, but don't worry if you can't sing folk music. In fact, it isn't absolutely necessary that you sing at all. As long as you're single, attractive, and have a certain amount of, shall we say, domestic ability. Hurry over or you'll lose out. Bye.
What? What's wrong, Louise? Did it ever occur to you that our husbands change their minds about this trip very easily?
Well, yes, now that you mention it.
Well, I just found out why. They're auditioning girl singers.
What? That's how they met us.
Don't I remember? Come on.
Ellie Mae, we're going back home. Hurry.
You're next, my dear. And good luck.
Thank you.
All right, number 52, your name, please.
Billy Evans.
Evans. Age?
23.
How old?
26. 7.
Next station.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Evans. Now, this is going to be your music audition. Let's hear you hit this note. That's close enough. Next station.
Thank you.
Passed your singing test, did you?
I guess so.
All right, now this is your cooking test. How do you make sassafras tea?
Oh, with sassafras?
Pass! Now, let's see you sweep.
All right, ma'am. Thank you kindly. That'll be all. Right out this door, please.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, Jed, what did you think about that one?
Well, it sure beats me, Lester, how you can pick a singer without hearing her sing.
Well, Jed, you know, the finest career that a woman can have is getting married and making a home. Now, what did you think about her as a possible wife?
For who?
Well, you, for instance.
Now, Lester, you've been edging around with that question. I think I ought to tell you something.
Yeah, what's that?
If I ever do get married, I want to keep my wife here at home. I wouldn't cotton to her traveling around with your foggy mountain boy.
Gladys and Louise just came in.
Tell them to get in line, Chief. No special favors.
Where are our husbands? There's mine. And there comes mine.
Well, look yonder, Lester, your wives is back.
Yes, so long, Jed.
Lester Flat.
Gladys, it's good to have you back, darling.
Darling me. Since when do you need a girl singer?
Well, now we don't that you and Louise are back.
That's right. Girls, sing Mail Order Bride to Mr. Clampett.
And, Jed, we hope it'll give you an idea, because Earl and me just went out of the wife-finding business.
Get you a mail order bride. A hillman leads a lonely life. A hillman needs a loving wife. A mail order bride.
He's got a mule, he's got a dog, but what he needs from the catalog is delivery of someone to love without fail.
Without fail, without fail.
By the U.S. mail.